I remember one day early on in recovery, there was this kid who was a couple years younger than me. I was about 1.5 years sober, and I was at this recovery event, and this dude walked up to me and said, "Hey man, this guy's really struggling. Can you talk to him?" And I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, he keeps relapsing and I don't know what to do. I've been working with him for a while. See if you can set him straight." And I walk into it just seeing this really nicely presenting young man, working guy, and we go grab Chipotle together, and he starts telling me that he doesn't want to go to those recovery events anymore because they're not respecting the fact that even though he's not drinking or using harder substances, that he's still using cannabis. And having heard the take of the other dude who said that he kept relapsing, I expected that he was going to be continually relapsing on his drug of choice. But what it actually turned out is that this kid did not want to be completely chemically abstinent. And as a result, this guy who he really respected was no longer willing to work with him. So I was put in kind of a tough situation there because I respected both of these men. I really liked this young man getting his life back together, even though his recovery wasn't the same path as mine. And until this guy had come up to me and told me, "I can't work with this kid anymore, you do something about it," and asked if I'd be open to getting dinner with him and talking to him, I really respected the other guy. And I still respected that he was in long-term recovery and had built a beautiful life for himself and was helping a lot of guys get sober, but I never saw him in the same way after that, because what I saw when I went to dinner with that kid is not someone who wasn't willing to keep improving his own life. What I saw is someone who was working a program at Cali Sober Recovery who, even though it wasn't the same program as mine and I wasn't smoking cannabis, that wasn't part of my recovery, it was clear he was having continued success abstaining from alcohol and all of the substances that had been causing him a problem, and cannabis really wasn't causing him a problem. And what was actually causing him the biggest problem I walked away with is people from that path to recovery telling him that his recovery was invalid and that he was continually relapsing when he was using plant medicine as something that was helping him stay away from his drugs of choice and alcohol, which had a really bad effect on his life. So what I ended up telling him is, keep doing what you're doing, man. And I kept telling him, your recovery is valid no matter what anybody else says, and you're the only person who can know what's working for you. And I walked out of that dinner not knowing how to help him cope with the other guy or anything else, but just knowing something I've stood on ever since. My recovery is what works for me, and for me that's abstinence. But the reason why I support all paths of recovery is that whether that young man or anybody else, I would rather see someone continue to succeed on whatever path of recovery works for them than gatekeep them and kick them out of any recovery community.